common instead.
Oh, and we are off.
This is even weekly, or is it an odd week? I'm confused.
This is on the odd weekly settings.
Okay. So we have vanilla start at landing site and vanilla elevators. And space jump first, we have a visor. Thermal. Okay, that's not too promising. But we'll make essence faster.
Definitely.
And I love how my seed is finally saved as soon as I give up on it. Nice.
Unfortunate, but it happens.
Yeah. And so we're getting synced up. Okay. Didn't see what was on the ledge. Might have been bombs since there was no glow.
That looks like it's Varian in the half pipe. Excuse me, phlegm in my throat. And grapple on the vault ledge.
And just a missile nursery. See, getting a second look at that suit model, making sure it's an actual suit instead of a nothing.
Yep. Normally, the item that miscellaneous junk items would be replaced with is a missile, but as we took a break from doing the weeklies during the Swiss rounds of the tournament, the presets were outdated and we missed it when we were checking up on creating the seeds.
Yeah, normally the weekly settings would have charge as a starting item and missiles as filler items. But unfortunately, we're going to have to go get charge today at Watery Hall, which is its normal vanilla location.
Luckily for the runners, it's not just randomized because that would be a pain.
Yeah.
Less because it makes anything necessarily more difficult and more just because it's inconvenient.
Yeah.
And it was very astute there and not a nothing.
Yeah.
And just like having a little bit of trouble climbing the tree.
Yeah. Just to add about charge beam, it also kind of makes that charge beam location obsolete instead of actually having something interesting there.
Yeah, but interesting things still can be there.
Yeah. Okay, just a missile and shrine.
That is a terrible location for charge beam, Mayro. Or Mayo.
Actually, I need to open up the thing on my phone.
Hunter Slice is definitely in the lead by a little bit, but that can change quite quickly if the runners choose to take different routes and one route turns to pay out more than the other. Which is one of the things that makes randomizer races so open to a large distribution of skill levels, because even people with less mechanical practice have a fair chance of being able to perform well or even win a race if they make better routing decisions.
Yeah, and generally, movement skill and even routing skill comes with time, but it's certainly accessible for multiple skill levels.
Interslite's making a pretty good decision in going for Root Cave Climb, even though it is not in logic without X-Ray Visor. Getting grappled this early, as well as Varia, means that there's a fair chance X-Ray is going to be somewhere early in Magmore, and would then be pushing the runners back to here. It's also a pretty easy place to be able to climb even without X-Ray, as you can shoot the platforms, and they don't move or anything, so you can also just memorize the locations.
Yes.
In fact, there's a fair number of runners who seem to be able to climb quicker without seeing the platforms than when they can see them.
Slice having trouble landing on some of those.
Yeah, he's just getting the locations off by a little bit. See, as he seems to be dropping some frames, at least on the commentary stream. And Plasma
that
Beam.
is very convenient.
As well as
okay.
Morph Ball. Okay,
Wow.
So yeah, I was definitely right then. But actually, well, not necessarily. It could also be that X-Ray is in Artifact Temple. But it's gonna be either Artifact Temple or somewhere in early Magmore, or when entering from the Root Cave entrance.
Yeah. Yeah, these seeds, seeds in general, they can be pretty trolly with the logic chain that it expects. So knowing tricks like that can save a lot of time.
Interslice going to check for the crash site. It's a pretty quick check, and it can pretty oftentimes have something useful.
Yeah, and you can get this item with either a scan dash like we saw, or slow jumps.
Brawler, unfortunately, bombs were on the grapple ledge in Main Plaza, so you will not be seeing bombs in Biohazard today. Unless you meant power bombs. Interslice doing a pretty good job of minimizing turning while on the ground, because turning on the ground is slow, and if you do it in mid-air, you can do it without losing the time, and while being able to take advantage of the lack of a sideways speed cap in Prime.
Yeah, as long as you don't hold R at the wrong moment and lock your speed in a bad direction, and it can cause you problems.
Interslice being nice and confident that he got all of those artifact scans. a lot of people hesitate just because they don't want to have missed one and have to go all the way back to find out where one artifact they might have missed is.
Yeah, sometimes even if you count them right, you can not fully scan one of them without realizing it. And that can cause some problems.
Interslice is now going to be heading into Magmore with Varia, bombs, and a couple of beams that he has. He can check most of the items in Magmore Caverns and route back into Chozo near the end if he so desires. Which he likely will go for. Okay, Storage Depot. Ice Runes was Drain Chamber Axe. Security X. Elevator Chamber. Phendrana Shorelines. Okay, Phendrana Shorelines could be nice or it could be mean.
Could be plasma locked or super and spider locked.
Yep. And if I know randomizer viewers, they are definitely hoping for the super and spider locked.
Yeah, suffering is fun to watch.
Though Diggle didn't generate the seed, so the chances of that happening are significantly lower. Oh, odd. Okay. I had not noticed that we had elevator shuffle on for this, so...
Me neither. Which one was shuffled?
The one that we just did, we ended up coming out near the Phendrana elevator instead of the Twin Fires
Okay,
elevator.
Paying attention.
Yeah. Normally, this would have been using our, I believe. So we use two different sets of presets normally. One is the odd week settings, which use the vanilla starting location, no starting items, no randomized elevators. No, one starting item, but that's charge beam. No random starting items.
Looks like we're being rated
And then,
Go ahead.
okay, welcome to people from SpeedGaming 6.
Yeah.
And then the other preset that we use is the even week settings, which have 1 to 3 random starting items, a random starting location, and randomized elevators. This week would normally be an odd week, which means that the elevators shouldn't have been randomized, but apparently they accidentally were. So that's one extra element that our runners have to think about when routing. Interslash taking a minute just to get this one extra energy tank. Not strictly necessary, but definitely potentially quite helpful. I didn't catch if CZ looked at what was in the main plaza tree. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't. I just saw him get bombs.
You might have forgotten that you were able to take a peek at it.
Or just simply forgotten to take a peek at it.
Yeah. and super missile. Okay,
Okay.
so even if it is the bad Finjana Shoreline's location, we're only one item off of being able to deal with that, no problem.
Yep.
The seed is being too nice. We need a twist.
Phase on at PCA.
That would be appropriate. No, phase on at PCA, and an artifact in Newborn.
I didn't catch what that said.
Of course, we already know that there isn't a artifact there, but
Did anyone catch what that elevator said?
no, I did not. I was looking at chat. It's easy going for a couple checks that are somewhat out of logic.
Yeah. He needs missiles, so he's just trying to get some missiles. Because it's always missiles here. Not always, but usually.
It's always missiles, except for the time that both runners decide that it must be missiles and then it's not.
Yeah.
So far, it's one missile at least.
Yeah, the top one is like 90% of the time missiles, and then the bottom one occasionally might have an artifact or an E-tank or a power bomb expansion, but I rarely see anything worthwhile there in either spot.
Having a little bit of trouble with the underwater slope jump, but he got it eventually. Those can be trickier than they look because they require you to be able to notice that you got the vertical speed boost and then you have to pull away from the wall, or else you will get the speed taken right back.
Yeah, pulling away from the wall is like getting out of the water as you pull away is how you know you got it. Also, welcome to SpeedGaming Portuguese. We're currently in the middle of well, not in the middle, but
Well, it could be in the middle based on how much we've already gotten.
yeah, we're still trying to figure this out here. Basically, we need one more beam and theoretically one more suit for go mode and spider ball, possibly. So, still got a ways to go. Huh. Never thought of dashing to vault ledge from there. Usually I see people dash over to, they curve the dash over to the, towards the door whenever they use that scan point.
Yeah, the elevators are randomized, so they can lead to any other elevator that is in another area. So you can't have a Chozo elevator leading to a Chozo elevator, but you can have a Chozo elevator lead you directly to Phazon Mines. Not necessarily DMATs. There are other elevators that we can get to in Magmore as well as in Talon that could lead us to Phendrana or to Phazon and then Phendrana, depending on how things go.
Yeah. And for anyone who didn't notice, Zeke just got his boost ball in Ruin Gallery.
Very useful item. Fastest way to move around in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of the elevators off of Reflecting Pool. There are still plenty of options available to be able to get pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. That looks like an E-Tank. Either E-Tank or Spider, I'm not sure. Look
I
more
did
like
not get a
E-Tank.
good enough look.
Yeah, Zeke was shooting at it, which means he might have been mad that he couldn't get it, so it could be Spider. Although I could see how he'd want an E-Tank as well. So if that was Spider in there, then hopefully we'll find a power bomb soon. Just in case the Shoreline's artifact is the top one.
And so that our runners can logically get to the Magmore workstation elevators if we need to go that way in order to get access to Phendrana.
Yeah. The general consensus in chat is that it was Spider. Inner Slice forgetting he doesn't have power bombs. Something I'm sure most of us have done before.
Yes. Yeah, definitely Spider.
Okay. It's good knowledge to have.
And that, I believe, is our first nothing that we have picked up.
Yeah, it's basically the filler items that are placed in or put there in place of the items you start with sometimes. Or just
the items that you remove, such as artifacts when you're running with a 6 artifact collection like we are.
yeah. And there's our charge beam in its vanilla location. Once again, normally in weekly settings you would start with charge, but the preset we used this time was outdated, so it's vanilla charge. Yes, nothings are filler items that replace artifacts that were taken out of the pool and starting items that players may have started with. Even though they didn't start with any starting items. This time, we're still only playing with only with 6 artifacts instead of 12. So you're gonna see 6 nothing items, well, up to 6 nothing items in this seed. What? Why is that not
broken
scanned?
scan point? Oh, it's a nothing. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
I did not know that. For some reasons, no. Normally, you're able to scan nothing.
Normally you get a question mark or a triple question mark.
Huh.
This time it actually scanned nothing. That's weird.
The question is, will we find the last 3 nothings and make it so that it didn't really matter that we didn't have 12 artifacts?
Yeah, it's possible.
Welcome everybody from SpeedGaming 3. As both of our runners begin the free time loss boss.
Yeah, the timing of this fight is completely random. You have no control over it.
Well, it's not completely random. There are there's a range of time that each phase can take, but it's random how much time in that range it's going to take. Though it is more likely for it to take a longer time than it is a shorter time.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The timer is basically it's basically, well, the shortest you can get is if the music doesn't loop, and the longest you can get is if it does loop and almost reaches the end of the second loop. And a good fight.
There's a 35-second gap between a perfect Zoid RNG and the worst possible.
Yeah.
Which is a significant amount of time, especially for speed runs.
Yeah.
And main power bombs.
Okay.
This seed continues to be nice.
So now they have access to Spider.
Which means they also have access to
upper shorelines,
as well as workstation and upper dynamo.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the furnace items as well, completely on logic, and crossway. And Life Growth Tunnel, I believe. No, not quite. They need Ice Beam for that. Brawler really wanting our runners to suffer.
Most cursed location for Ice Beam. I've gotten some pretty cursed locations, but I'm blanking on them at the moment. Sorry about that.
One pretty cursed Ice Beam location is Vanilla Thermal.
Research core, yeah.
Like, sure, it's also convenient because it lets you get out, but it requires you to go all the way through labs without having ice beam and dealing with the risk of having to go all the way back.
Yeah. Not a point of no return, but a point of long return. Diggle had Ice and Tree with supers on Thardis. When was that? That wasn't the last one that I completely forgot, even though I commentated. Was it? I get so many seeds mixed up in my head because I play so many and see so many. Ice on Sun Shiver Grows.
Personally, I'm quite fond of apple seeds.
Nice. I was looking at chat as someone got their validation.
Yep, it was Enterslice in the tree.
Ah. It's a nice way of chat telling me to look up. Although I looked up too late.
Poor Zeke. He doesn't have his super missile, so he can't get validated anytime soon. Supers into ice, into Farfindron access. That is like the longest possible backtracking route I can think of with having supers on Thardis and ice in the tree.
Oh, one of Diggle's seeds he uploaded to YouTube. Got it.
The real question is, did Diggle revel in his own suffering as much as he does in the suffering of people playing his seeds?
Gonna guess he enjoys the latter more.
Most likely.
It's like Zeke is trying to shoot that thing.
I guess he doesn't know that you can just lay bombs as you're going up and
Yeah.
they go away from you.
Oh my god.
Do not die to the Firefly.
It can happen. You can land on it and take constant damage. I've almost died like that too. Surprisingly. Oh god. 13.
With X-Ray and Supers, this ghost is not going to be very annoying. And hopefully Zeke chooses to safety save here. And doesn't walk into the blast caps.
Yeah, those will definitely kill him at 13 health. Looks like Zeke is going for the flag we're playing. which could pay off because he can make 2 checks in the process, Flogger itself and Sunship of Ghosts, which could have Ice Beam or Phazon. You never know.
Yeah, and some Chamber Ghosts are in Logic. Zeke doesn't know it, though.
Yeah, with Supers and Spider, they're in Logic. Having a bit of a hard time with the double bomb jump to get over that gate. Bit of a tricky jump. I've heard that you kind of have to lay the first bomb a little bit away, or maybe like arch your jump from a little bit away, which kind of helps, but I'm not 100% sure.
The most important thing is delaying the second bomb until just before the first bomb explodes, so that you are at the peak of your height when the third bomb boosts you up, instead of starting to fall back down.
Let's see. And he finally makes it over. Camera giving him a bit of trouble.
I believe Hazel/Fusion Varia has a video demonstrating how a quote-unquote perfect double bomb jump can look different and what the most important factors are.
I'll have to look that up.
It is valid, DMATs. Oh, okay, yeah. Bombs on Ruined Nursery does require a trick that is not enabled currently. Much to the happiness of these racers, I'd imagine.
Yeah, if you've seen the tournament match where I believe Remy and Inner Slice had that trick enabled, it took them at least 45 minutes for both of them to get bombs that way. It's pretty cursed.
Proof that practice is good, especially if you're going to add a trick that's that specific into your races.
Yeah, for that particular trick, days, weeks, months, maybe even years of practice. 24/7. And godlike patience.
If Flagra has anything important, it could be very big for CZ, because Inner Slice is not a fan of Flagra and will likely put it off for a very long time.
Yeah, some runners like to save longer checks like this for the absolute last resort.
Yeah, because it does waste like 3+ minutes.
Yeah. 3 minutes of one check versus 3 minutes of several checks somewhere else. Like, it's usually the better way to go. Zeke finishing off Lago with a power bomb. It's a nice backup strat if you fall off of the little things.
Not a backup strat you'll see anywhere but in randomizers, though.
Yeah, it didn't look like a missile between the flowers, or flower petals, whatever you call them.
Welcome everybody from SpeedGaming 2.
Oh, E-Tank.
You know what? CZ's not going to complain about that.
Yeah.
Well, he might, but not as much as if it was a missile.
Yeah. At this point in the game, it's still... E-Tanks are still valuable because a lot of stuff can surprisingly kill you easily in the early game if you're not careful. Magmore is definitely one of those places.
And as we have progressive suit damage reduction, getting phase on is not a instant 50% damage reduction unless you have both other suits, and so some runners might get phase on like as their first suit,
Yeah.
and then forget that you don't have that full damage reduction and take a lot more damage than intended.
Yeah. And the reason the suits were nerfed in the rando, I mean, you can have them vanilla depending on your settings, but the reason we use progressive suit damage reduction is to make each suit useful and not obsolete. For example, Varia is the only suit that gives you heat protection with these settings. Gravity is the only suit that you get free underwater movement with, and Phazon suit is the only suit that you can beat the game with, or beat the final boss essence with, if your Impact Crater is turned on. Do you know why the shots go through the ghost like that sometimes? Even though you
I don't remember the reason. It might just be something to do with their hitboxes being a bit odd. Phazon gave you... Every suit gave you heat immunity, but Phazon gave you the 50% damage reduction, the heat immunity, and the ability to use the Hyper Beam, as well as be immune to Phazon damage anywhere but Impact Crater. But Gravity was the only suit that gave you the gravity effect.
Yeah, and Zeke is not happy with his decisions here. Just got a missile at Ghosts, and in the race time chat, he's expressing that unhappiness. I don't blame him at all. Meanwhile, Inner Slice is checking main quarry.
The very colorful percent at #%. Everyone's favorite expletive.
Yeah. And there's ice. Not a very nice place for it. But there it is.
But not the worst place ever either.
And I've already forgotten how many artifacts are in mines. I can see there's at least one. Do you remember where they were?
I am trying to think through it. I know there's 2 in Thendrana. I think there might be 2.
We might get another look.
Interslice, why are you doing this? You just shoot the door and not waste the power bomb.
Well, speaking of that, I might have actually seen an artifact at Storage Depot A when he checked.
Oh, wait, he climbed up this way and then went in? Okay. Never mind then.
Yeah. Yep, artifact. So he already knew that was there. But for those who don't know, you can check that door without actually going all the way up and using the power bomb and scan point. You could just shoot through one of the little openings in the like on the side of the door or the side of the force field.
Yeah, the metal supports that block you from moving through. You can't shoot through the gaps in the force field, which is what many people had tried to do in the past, and then somebody revealed to the larger community around the time of the first randomizer tournament that, hey, you can shoot it just from the between the bars on the side.
Yeah.
And people's minds were blown, and then still many people have forget about it or just still don't really know, or it doesn't pop into their minds.
Yeah.
Really nice for Inner Slice getting that power bomb drop there. Makes getting through more lines a bit easier.
I wasn't sure he actually picked it up.
Yeah, he did. He laid the power bomb and then he unmorphed into it. Just a missile on the Phazon Elite. CZ having a little bit of trouble with his double bomb jumps here. Well, the seed is treating them nicer than most Diggle seeds would treat them, but not as nice as some other seeds might cure to. Inner Slice getting a damage boost up onto the next level. Stylishly swinging backwards to pick up a missile.
I missed what he did. I was fixing something. What did he do?
While he was climbing or processing, he almost messed up the jump onto the second level and then got damage boosted up by one of the pirates below him, shooting him. And then he was able to get the rest of the way back up just fine.
Happy accident.
Well, I'd assume that it was the random number generation that hit the suits. Another power bomb expansion. That's nice to get.
Any particular reason Inner Slice paused?
Not entirely sure. Maybe just out of habit of trying to skip any kind of cutscene. And then doing it slightly early, like all Prime.
Oh, I see. For some reason, I figured it was a tactical thing, like where in Arboretum, people open up the map to make something load faster.
Well, it doesn't make anything load faster, but it keeps the game from trying to... It will open the door before every other room around Arboretum loads. Sorry, not Arboretum. Around Ruined Fountain.
Okay. But yeah, the pausing before cutscene problem is a little more common in Echoes, to my knowledge. So that wasn't the first thing I thought of. Mainly because all cutscenes are skippable in Echoes. Well, Echoes random. Would be nice if they added that feature to this. There's a lot of annoying cutscenes in this game.
I think there are a couple like boss cutscenes that you can go.
Yeah. Here and there, they're pretty rare.
But yeah, many more of the cutscenes are skippable in Echoes than in Prime. And of course, there are also cutscenes in Prime that speedrunners are just used to not skipping because it's faster in-game time to not skip them.
Yeah.
Zeke's gonna have an opportunity to get his ice beam pretty soon. Excuse me, on.
No problem. So, this elevator we have...
Slice opting to fight these ghosts for some reason.
The text was a little blurry on that, but it looked like a Phazon Mines elevator. Might be PPC.
See, it's going pretty good. A lot of the items have been pretty free and the logic hasn't been too complicated. The only slightly trolly location was that Ice Beam was in main quarry.
Although this is random elevators, so Ice and Main Quarry isn't too out of line.
Well, I mean, it's Ice and main quarry is only possible with random elevators.
Huh. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because you need ice to get here.
Yep, from every direction.
Vanilla. Yeah, and supers were in Frigate Crash Site.
Pretty much just a hunt for Phazon now, Zucker. Inner Slice getting his fourth artifact. Is about to get his trying to unmorph and forgetting that you can't there.
Yeah, the only way to get up there unmorphed is what you saw Inner Slice do, which is a slope jump up to the crane and then jump across to the item.
And now we get to see which of the two locations the artifact is in. It looks like it's the lower one.
Okay. Not sure what Zeke is trying to do.
Yeah.
Might have been farming for a power. It looked like he was trying to slope jump back up to the top. But... oh.
Exercise is about to pick up his final artifact. And then we will be fully in... it's in west, not east.
Sorry, I think a lot of us get those two rooms mixed up.
Yeah, especially seeing as like the assumption that many people would just think of when entering into Phazon or Phendrana from this side is that entering from the elevator you're facing north, but I guess you're facing south because that's the only way that being east makes any sense.
That's why some people call it West.
Now we've seen Workstation Brawler. It's an E-Tank. Though there is one elevator off of Workstation, the one with the debris that we haven't seen yet. Yes, plasma processing is also something we haven't seen. I cannot tell what that is.
Phazon.
That is Phazon. So Interslice is in go mode-ish.
Is gravity required for any of them? I forgot.
No, it's just that he hasn't picked up Ice Ruins West yet.
Okay. Slice would have gotten a nice. Yeah, you would have gotten a instant item grab, but
he's laying its power bomb in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Oh, still makes it over there, nice. But
only manages to. Yeah, he should have 5 artifacts, I believe.
Tracker must have eaten an input.
Though I'm sure we'll be able to double check after Interslice picks up his artifact in Ice Ruins West, because I'd imagine he'll want to make sure that he didn't miscount.
Yeah. Maybe it was just the 5th.
It's easy to entering Phendrana from the backside.
That must be where the last one is. It's somewhere there.
I still don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's just heading back to the Artifact Temple. I think Caesar's just trying to find Phazon.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little confused on how many artifacts Inner Slice actually has because I'm not sure I caught every single location.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has 6.
Nice. Metroid Prime collision. Gotta love it. It's usually that's what Captain ND13 means when he says channeling inner 2D Sonic or something like that. Yeah, Inner Slice is certainly acting as if he has all 6 artifacts. I guess we'll find out for sure when he gets to Artifact Temple. Yep, that's all 6. So, now we're fighting Ridley, and the way most runners fight Ridley is if they have Boost Ball, they boost into his chest as soon as the first flying phase is done, which does 50,000 damage per frame, immediately putting Ridley into his final phase because they forgot to make Ridley immune to Boost Ball. So you should be seeing its health drop right about
Now.
now.
Phazon was in Vanilla Wave Beam,
Yeah.
also known as Ice Chapel, I think.
Chapel of the Elders. Yeah. Now that Ridley's in his final phase, Inner Slice just has to rapid fire a bunch of missiles into Ridley's chest as soon as Ridley stops dashing, which he tends to do when his health is low. And he gets the invincibility glitch. That's too bad. And gets a snipe though. Still another. How did that happen again? Huh.
What happened again?
The invincibility glitch happened twice in a row.
Yeah, it's entirely based on late timing. So, if it did happen again, which I didn't see that it happened a second time.
haven't seen it. Haven't seen anyone climb it this way. Either way, nice climb.
Originally, Op was going to race, but his seed was taking so long to save that he decided to switch to being a co-commentator. Brawler.
Yeah, we were already a half hour late, so I don't want to keep people waiting any longer. And for those who are unaware, I should probably explain EXO. EXO has 4 phases, aka 4 subchambers, and you shoot EXO with whatever beam color he is displaying. First subchamber is wave and power. Second one adds ice. Third one adds plasma, and the fourth one randomizes all of his attacks, and he can do any combination of them at any time. And he can also speed up his movement by a lot, which some people call turbo mode. And the fourth subchamber is the least predictable.
Yeah, because all the previous rules go out the window except for charging after each quote-unquote phase.
Yeah.
Though you still can manipulate EXO the same way that you're normally able to by being at the right distance from it. You can make it just melee attack you every time instead of doing anything else. However, It's also the hardest to do on Subchamber 4.
Yeah, partially because of, the combos and the fast movement. Although the beam combos they have are helpful. Supers are helpful in the power phase, and Ice Spreader is helpful in the ice phase if you're not good at aiming your ice shots. Which also have the slowest fire rate, but to compensate for that, EXO is weak to ice because it's a Metroid. And beam combos are a good way to compensate for failed AI manipulations. See, having better luck with the powerbomb kill she got. Getting his face on suit. Now I believe he just needs 2 more keys. One in Ice Ruins, west or east, whichever one. And honestly, I'm not sure where the final one is for Zeke. Inner Slice showing off that AI manip that I was talking about earlier. Or that Caesar, well, we both were talking about earlier.
Clearly, Op just wanted to take all the credit. How dare he?
Yeah. I'm a terrible person.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Everyone who's following Op, just go and unfollow him. Man, EXO really likes orbs right now, doesn't it?
Yeah. And if Inner Slice isn't careful, or if EXO is more of a jerk than usual, it can lay those orbs, or shoot those orbs out right as you're giving the final for the final as you're killing Exo, excuse me. And depending on when the cutscene ends, those balls can do a lot of damage, and it's even killed some runners,
Yep.
or at least put them close to death, making them die at essence.
Or to a later stage of Exo.
Yeah. So what you're seeing Inner Slice do right now is just standing still, trying to keep Essence from moving around too much and wasting time. We're trying to get Essence to lay a pool as soon as possible.
You can influence Essence to lay it a little bit faster by being above Essence during every time that it doesn't attack. You still stand still, but you just have to time jumps properly.
Yeah. And now what Inner Slice is doing is shooting single phase-on shots to cancel Essence's attacks, to make it lay a pool as soon as possible.
Because Essence needs to increment a counter in order to be able to lay another pool, and that counter is incremented when attacking or moving, and if timed properly, you can cancel the attacks and movements just as they're starting, so that the timer increments, but you are still doing damage and not having to deal with Essence moving around, and prevents any pull skips from happening if done properly.
Yeah, Inner Slice was also stepping in and out of the pool for the final shots to prolong that window even longer. But Inner Slice is won when the official
With an
time was
official-
1:13:15.
Yep.
GG's in chat for Inner Slice. Oh, and I just remembered Seek warned us about the custom music. So
Yes.
you might
Which
wanna...
I did not notice during the audio check, but that was probably because he was only on the main menu at that time.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, Inner Slice. Pretty free seed, right?
that was a pretty crazy seed there.
Yeah, pretty jet for a 2.5 seed.
Yeah. It wasn't really feeling jet till I got Ice Beam, and then everything kind of fell into place.
Yeah.
That's a bad spot for Ice Beam, by the way.
Yeah, it's a spot that Ice Beam can only be with random elevators,
Yeah.
which would take it out of most people's thought process.
For sure.
I think that was the last spot I had to check before Flagra, so I was really glad to see it there, actually.
Yeah, Zeke checked Flagra, and he wasn't
Well, there are
happy.
also a couple of the checks that you could have gone, or no, one check you could have gone for in Frigate.
Yeah,
No, never mind, you couldn't have because you needed ice.
Yeah.
so
I'm the
Well,
master of forgetting that you need ice for Frigate.
yeah. But Flagra had nothing, so luckily he didn't need to do that. Zeke found a missile and an E-tank there.
Yeah, Flagra is usually not worth it unless you have nothing left, I think.
Yeah. Or if there's just like one thing you really need and your only way out of there is that thing.
Yeah.
Was there best part and worst part for you?
Let's see. I was pretty rusty this game. I hadn't played Prime in like a week, so my movement was not the greatest here. And also my first time playing on console on a CRT, so I had to really double check Chap the Elders before I went in because I couldn't really see it very well.
Oh, is the resolution different?
Yeah, I usually play on like 3 times resolution in Dolphin, so I can like spot items across the room, not on console though.
It's definitely one of the downsides of using a CRT is like you're gonna have a harder time picking out what certain things are.
Yeah. Well, I guess my routing wasn't that great at the beginning. That dip into Magmor was kind of a big waste of time. Probably should have put that off longer.
Gravity at Overgrown Cavern.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect frigate bait.
Yeah, luckily Ice Beam was my go mode, so that, well, I guess technically Phase on Suit was, but... Yeah, I probably wouldn't have done Frigate if I saw that, honestly.
Yeah, some runners would have, which could have cost a lot of time. Meanwhile, Zeke is making his way to Ridley as we speak.
Did Zeke see any elevators I didn't?
I don't.
He went to Farfendrana
Okay. Where did that elevator go?
with an elevator. I think it went to the. I think it was the rebel covered elevator in Workstation.
Okay. Oh, and how about that Ridley fight giving me 2 invincibility glitches in a row?
Yeah, I noticed that. That's kind of funny. Not sure how it happened twice in a row. Usually, you didn't seem too late on at least maybe the second attempt, or maybe
Yeah,
maybe I'm just
I could kind of feel there might have been a chance I was gonna get one, so I was kind of cautious about unloading all my missiles on him.
Luckily, when it's randomizer, you have enough missiles that if you get the invincibility glitch, you aren't losing as much time.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty low missile count for randomizer. I usually have in the 100 neighborhood.
Yeah.
A lot of E-tanks though.
Yeah, it took a little bit for Zeke to start getting many E-tanks.
Yeah, they were all in Magmor, I think.
Most of them were, yeah.
now Zeke gets an incident, whatever that thing is called. You say it. I can't talk.
Invincibility?
Thank you. Yes. A bit of bad luck with the dashes there. Oh. Wow. And release down.
Kind of got baited by that spider ball a little bit.
Yeah, it
Having to
opened
go
up
back
a good
for it.
number of locations, and then it didn't really end up being needed.
No.
Yeah, the only way it could have paid off was if the artifact was the lighthouse item.
Yeah, that's the main reason I went back for it.
Well, and if you don't know how to do the slope jump to get Ice Beam.
Yeah, true.
102. Not bad. I hate to do this, but I need to step away for a minute.
No problem. And I don't know if you're watching Interslice, but Zeke is heading up Impact Crater or Phase Encore, whatever you call
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah, I'm watching it.
I saw you do. I saw you do the climb from a different direction than I've seen most people do it. It seemed to be from the left side of the hallway.
Yeah, I use an pretty old method to climb that room. I just find it more comfortable for me. I've never been able to get the other way to work for me.
Oh, I thought the old method was from the right side.
I'm not sure.
Maybe there's two old methods.
Probably. I picked that up from like a 2010 speedrun, so it's probably why.
I see. Yeah, lots of different ways doing things have been discovered over the years, so
Yeah.
that's why you kind of learn something new every day. Because
There's a minimal time difference between the two. It's mainly what you find more comfortable.
yeah. Zeke keeping his distance from Exo. He might not know about the AI enough to make him do the melee attack.
Oh, looks like he never got supers.
Yeah. Where were those again?
I think they're in Lava Lake.
Yeah, I get so many seeds mixed up. I know I say this every single time, but it's true.
Yep.
For some reason I thought supers were somewhere else, which I'm also blanking on.
So did we have pretty similar routes?
Not really. You guys, there was a fair bit of route divergence, but you guys ended up not too far apart time-wise.
That's good. I always find it more interesting when the runners take different routes.
Yeah. Ever seen anyone wait in the middle column for the turnaround shot? I'm always afraid the tail's gonna hit you if you're unmorphed.
Yeah, I've never quite learned how to do the turnaround shots. I've just kind of stood off to the side and wait for him to go by.
Basically, you charge up your beam combo as soon as you start to see a turnaround.
Oh yeah, okay. Turnaround, yeah, I do that. I don't do the shoot him while he's charging at you thing.
Oh yeah, me neither. I can never find the right spot. I tried it once in one of my matches, but I don't think I got any of the hits.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, supers would make the power phase much easier because the hitbox is really small and Exo is really squirmy, so it's kind of hard to hit him with it.
It
At least
just
with
takes
charge shots.
Yeah, it just takes a lot of shots too with power beam.
Yeah, it's actually easier to hit with charge power shots when you're doing AI manip
Yeah.
because you can sort of line it up at the right time. And now I believe we were on subchamber 4. I think I saw the beam color change.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the best times to do the AI. Sorry, chat. Bear with me. This is one of the best times to see runners do the AI manip because otherwise the attacks, like I said, are very random and Exo can speed up, so they can be very chaotic. And Exo can do stuff like that. Shooting the energy balls and grappling you, making you unable to defend yourself at all.
Yeah, that happened to me for the first time in maybe ever. I don't know what happened, but somehow I ended up behind Exo.
Oh, interesting. I think I've never seen that before. Morphes.
Oh, I think he got the charge out there.
And I got the ice splitter shot.
Nicely done.
Looks like Zeke is giving himself the music. Unfortunately, we can't listen because it might be customized. And as before, we're not seeing the first AI manip, which you get by just standing still. Maybe Zeke needed the energy. But probably going to see some attack cancels and pull cancels. Yeah, now we're getting attack cancels, which shoot a single shot and wait for Exo or Essence's chin to return to its normal position. That's when you know to take the next shot. Apparently a bit of lag on Zeke's end. But yeah, the first two pulls, most people do attack cancels. And on the third and final pull, in most cases, runners start doing pull cancels by stepping in and out of the pull to prolong the damage or use the pull with, or I forget how it exactly goes. I think you're using just the timer of the pull, but not using up the actual pull itself when you do pull cancels.
Yeah, pretty much.
So just maybe 2 more phases of that, and Zeke should be done.
Looks like he's shooting a little bit too much during his attack cancels.
A little bit, yeah.
Should be just like one quick tap. And
Mm-hmm. But those are the fission Metroids, which means you can probably just unload now.
yeah, that's a
So
bad
this-
pool spot.
so
It's
this
like half
Exo-
underground.
Yeah, so this Exo moves. And Zeke's done with an official time of 1:31:36. GG's in chat for Zeke. Should be getting Zeke in the comm booth any moment now. Hey, Zeke.
Hey, is my mic on?
Yep.
Yeah, we can
Good.
hear you.
Thanks everybody
GGs.
for waiting those extra 18 minutes. This was a great seed, and I really wanted to finish it.
Yeah, and I once again I apologize for that long wait. I was originally gonna race 2, but my seed was taking too long to save, so I decided to let the 2 other runners go and just co-com instead.
You must have made the same lucky checks I did, like going to main quarry.
Main core is the last thing I did except for Flaga, actually.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I went to Magmore way too early and considered going to the far end to the workstation side, but I decided against it and went back and did the rest of Chozo. And then had to turn around there.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch your routing because since you did finish considerably before me, you must have been going very fast. But I would have been much worse off than this if I hadn't made the whims call to go to main quarry where I could only make one check, because I figured with this seed I just had a feeling that one check would be important.
Yeah. I was actually pretty happy to see it there because that meant I didn't have to do Flagra.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw you doing Flagra. And
Yes, I did in fact do Flagra.
Yeah,
Didn't pay particularly, but it routed nicely because it led me to the next elevator I wanted to take.
yeah.
So did you do them after you got Ice Beam?
Hmm?
Did you do Flagra after you got Ice Beam or before?
No, I did Flagra before.
Okay.
You know Ice Beam before Flagra is a crazy trick, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say personally.
Yeah, I feel like this race kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. There was some route divergence, but for the most part, you guys ended up fairly close. I'd probably say less than 10 minutes. I don't know. Maybe I can't do math.
Yeah, which is amazing because Interslice is a monster at this game. I can't believe I did so well comparatively.
I mean, it could be a sign of improvement on your part, so
I
Yeah, I've
can help.
noticed you getting a lot better, Zeke.
yeah,
Thanks.
ready for that.
But otherwise, I don't have a lot to say. Just a fun race.
Yeah. Yep, GG.
Yep, GG to you too.
GG's to both of you, and don't forget to follow our runners. I don't know the commands, but hopefully somebody in chat does.
I think I got it here.
Thanks.
Thanks for you two, for you and Caesar for commentating and
Yeah,
for
thanks.
tracking.
That's always great.
Yeah, no problem. And be sure to tune in to our next weekly race next Saturday at 9.
Yep, and also the top 8 races, which are going on now.
Yes.
I think there's one tomorrow at 4.
That's right.
Yeah, one tomorrow at 4 between Uncle Reggie and Weekless Link 64.
Mm-hmm.
Channel 2B2. Never mind.
To be determined.
Yes, yes. So until next time, I've been Op82, joined by Caesar, who had to go early. And we'll see you next mission.
See you next mission.
See ya.
Take care.